Hey everyone, Amy here with Sublimation and More and Hellbound Designs. And in this quick video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this All Lives Matter Dallas, Texas edition. I originally did this video as a Facebook Live video, and I also did two different styles, one with the colorful flag and one with the black and white flag. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is what I created here for you guys, and I created it for myself and thought this would be a great quick tutorial on how to show you how to do this. So first thing is to grab some images. This will apply for any state, basically for any basic entry-level skills in Photoshop. So what I did is grab some quick images off of Google. Here's one I grabbed because it was high resolution. For those of you who do not know how to grab high resolution images, let me just show you real quick on how to do this. And can anybody who's watching this comment letting me know that you can hear me okay? I just want to make sure that my sound is going good. I don't want to do the whole video and there not be any sound. If there's anyone watching. Anyone? Alright, let me turn up my sound so I can see myself. Oh, thank you, appreciate that. If I turn up my sound, then it has an echo, then I echo throughout the whole thing and it drives me crazy. So let me just show you how to search for good high quality images. Just be careful, make sure they're not copywritten. I kind of go to the website and go to their websites and kind of browse around, that kind of thing. Most images, a lot of high definition images will come from these wallpaper backgrounds. You can use those. I don't think there's a lot going on with that. So I'm searching for Texas. And then the first thing you're going to do is click on images up here. And how I got the image that I wanted, and this one actually would have been perfect to use, so we could have used that one. If you wanted it higher quality though, what I recommend is you go up here to the search tools, click over here on size, and I usually go with size larger than 2 megapixels, and then that's going to bring up all your images there. And then I wanted just a black image because I knew what I was going to do with it. So you can come over here to color and you can choose black. So in this instance, I chose this image right here. Okay. And I'm going to, which is from Wikipedia. So I would download it. And I just want the state of Texas. So how I did that is I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to hope that it's keeping up with the live screen here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is go to Photoshop and then I'm going to hit open. And here was the image. So this was the first one I started with. Okay. Over here is all your layers. This is where you'll control a lot of your work for those of you that aren't familiar with Photoshop. The first thing I would do here is I would color all this white. You can do this a couple different ways. The quickest way would be just to take your brush, make sure white's in your color palette, and then just go over it. Oops, what's going on? Oh, I have it as an overlay. So let me go with normal, and then just go over it. Alright, same for black. If you wanted to just black those out, I would just go like that real quick. Next, you're going to take your magic wand, and I want to get rid of the black background. So I'm going to hit click on the black area. Your tolerance, the higher the tolerance, the more it's going to cut out, the lower the less. So you can play with those numbers. On something like this, I usually go with 75 or 50. And then I'm just going to hit, oops, and then I'm going to hit the delete button. Alright, so that gets rid of your background, and now you've got the state of Texas, and I'm going to fill this in with black. Okay, so the next step would have been to add the flag. So what I like to do is you can choose any flag you want. I played around with two different flags, so I'll show you both flags. The first one is going to be the plain black and white flag. So if you go up to File and then you go to Place, here's the black and white flag. Okay. Now this actually isn't a black and white, it's the color. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but it's like a different color. It's kind of like an off black or something. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change all of this to black. And there, you could do this again two different methods. You could use your paint bucket, or you could do the select area. I'm going to hit place, oops, sorry. And if you select where it's black and then hold down your shift key to select the other black areas, then you've got it all selected. And then you could just change the color. So I'm going to hit my paint bucket, and it's going to ask me, this is a smart object, it must be rasterized before proceeding. So I'm going to hit yes, and I'm going to go ahead and change it black. Alright, so to me that's just the quickest, easiest method. You just take your wand and click back in there to get rid of it, the selection. Okay, so next what we want to do is you want to make this blue. So what I'm going to do is I took my wand and I just clicked in this one, and I'm going to take my color palette. I'm just using basic web colors only. If you ever have this pop up and you're trying to get a specific color and you can't find it, or it won't, your colors won't change properly based on your eyedropper match, it's because you have this selected. Uncheck that, and then you can get a wider range of colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill that now by using my paint bucket and filling it. Okay, and then to unselect, I'm just going to click on it again. Okay, next what we want to do is stretch this out, and you're going to hold the shift key while making it larger so that it keeps it proportionate. And then next what we want to do after that is we're going to want to create a clipping mask. You do that by holding down the Alt key and clicking between the top layer and your bottom layer. So I'm going to do that now, and basically what that does is just blend the two layers together. Again, you do that by holding down the Alt key and you click between the two layers that you want to mask together. Okay, and how you get the top image to mask to the background is by holding your Alt key and holding your mouse in between the two. So if I click it again, it turns it off. I hold my Alt key there, click it again, and it turns it on. Okay, so this looks pretty good. I want the blue a little bit higher. I'm going to leave it right there, and then because the flag kind of ended right there, I'm just going to color that in and fill it with white. So I'm going to make sure white is selected, and then I'm going to take my paintbrush, and my paintbrush is too big. If your paintbrush isn't showing and this is all you're getting, then you hit your caps lock key and that'll show you the size of your brush. If you hit your left bracket key, that'll size it down, and your right bracket key sizes it up. Alright, so I'm just going to color that in, and that looks much better. Okay, so now we've got the flag ready. The next thing I want to do is work with the city of Dallas and the heart. So what I'm going to do is open up this heart that I had found on the internet, and I just want to color the whole thing black, so I'm going to make sure my black palette is selected. I'm going to choose my paint bucket and I'm just going to click on it. Now you guys can see when I click on it once, you still have a small thin outline, so you need to click on it again to make that outline go away. Alright, and then next what we want to do is we want to get the city in there, and that's again utilizing the clipping mask feature. So I'm going to go File, Place. I'm going to place the city right in there. Now, for those of you that don't know of a cool feature, how I get my colors to pop is I like to turn up the vibrance and the saturation. So because I placed this in there, this is almost like a smart object, and it's not going to let me make any changes. See how when I go to image and all these, my adjustments are not let me work? Well, it's because it thinks it's a smart object. So how do I turn that off? Well, you right click on the image and you hit rasterize layer. Now you can work with this layer as you wish. So I'm going to go with image, and wait, I gotta click it, image. Now I'm going to go to adjustments and I'm going to go to vibrance, and I just like to turn that up just a little bit. And same for saturation, it just gives it a little more pop. Alright. Next we're going to do our clipping mask, and you hold down the Alt key, click between the City of Dallas and the heart layer, and there you go. And it blends to a heart. Okay. And you can resize it, make it fit in there the way you want it. Okay. Next, if you wanted to, if you're satisfied with this image and you know you're not going to make any more edits to it, what I like to do is just merge the layers together. So I would click on my Shift key while clicking on both of them, and you right click on your mouse button and you do merge layers. So that makes it one layer. And now what I'm going to do is just click on the heart and I'm going to drag it over to, not that one, to the new one. Right there. Okay. Now what happens is when I dragged it over, it automatically thought it was a it's part of the clipping mask, which is you would want to unclip it, make it not a clipping mask, so you could hit the Alt and undo that, but you're making it smaller, so it really doesn't matter. But that's how you do that. So if it was a larger image, say like that, and you brought it in, see how the heart would cut off? You'd have to unmake it a clipping mask. So turn it off. I'm just gonna make it smaller. Alright, and then so there's the heart. The next step I'd do would be I would make a stroke around the heart so that it stands out. You could do a stroke, you could do a glow, and where all that magic truly happens is with the FX tools down here. Alright, so if you click on that, you can see you get lots of different options. So I'm just going to click on stroke. Once you're in the layer style, that's when you can actually modify any of these features. So it gave it a black stroke. I'm going to give it a red stroke. Okay, and you can change the size here. If you want to make it inside, you could do that as well. And if you wanted to do it as a soft overlay, which that doesn't do anything, hard light, there's different blending modes you could do as well. I'm just going to leave it as normal. And is that a true red? I think it is. Alright, there we go. Alright, and if you wanted to give it a bevel or emboss, and I'll zoom in so we can see what this looks like. You wanted to give it a bevel, I'm going to show you how that changes. See, you could give it a slight one, you can soften it a little bit, you can change the depth of it. Alright, if we wanted to give it a outer glow, say, let's choose this blue and see what happens. So I'm doing a little more to it than I had done to my original image. You can set the spread size right here. Oops, sorry. The size right here. And that should, oops. All right. I'm going to do normal. Alright, when I had screen chosen, it was causing it to blend into the back, which means that white wasn't showing, so I'm choosing normal so that it'll show, and I'm going to bring the size down a little bit. Okay. So there is the heart, and that pretty much covers that except for the text part, which I used, I just used this, I don't even know how to say it, my Riad Pro. And I chose a size that I was comfortable with, and I put All Lives Matter. You can put anything in there you want. You don't have to have text. I just resized it. Okay, so that's one way on how to make it with the black and white. If you wanted to use a more colorful flag, I'm just going to go ahead and save as because I liked how my heart came out on that. And I'm going to say, okay. Oops, won't let me because it's already open. File, save as, there we go. If you wanted to use a different flag, I'm just going to turn this off and this off for now so it doesn't interfere. We could place a different flag in there, and you don't have to remove the other flag, just leave it in there. We'll just turn it off in case you change your mind. So what I'm going to do is hit enter. I'm going to turn that background flag off, and I'm going to make sure that this is a clipping mask, so I'm going to hit the control or the alt key, and I'm going to click it between the first flag and the second flag. Alright, so we're going to stretch this out. Alright, and I kind of like the way that looks. Alright, so now I like how that's sized right there. Except for actually I'd probably want to go up just a little more. And maybe like that. Alright, now what do we do about the black that's down there? Again, we need to rasterize this because it thinks it's a smart object, so I'm going to right click and do rasterize layer. What I would do is I'm going to use my clone tool now. I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my clone tool, and I'm going to clone this white section, this tan section right here. So what you need to do is how you use the clone tools, it's right here, the clone stamp tool, and you have to, in order to select what you want to copy, basically you have to hold down the alt key and click your mouse button once. Alright, now I need to know my size here, and I've already have a square brush chosen, so I'm going to scoot up really close in this because I don't want to mess this up here, and I'm just going to clone. And then I'm going to come to the other end, and this is going to draw me a straight line. If you can match it up, hold down your shift key and keep holding it and click enter. Alright, so did you see how it makes a perfect straight line for you? Now I'm just going to color it in and keep letting it do its thing. Alright, so that's how we made it come down. Now I want this red stripe right here to be blue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just use my selection tool, the square, and I'm going to try to get as close as I can. And this is my preferred method of how to do this, which is kind of like the easiest stuff that I find when I want to get something done. So I'm just going to go over that red square. So now it's selected it. And I'm going to paint over it now with blue. So I'm going to choose a blue. And I want it to blend into kind of like the top blue. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our paintbrush and we're going to choose a blend mode. So I think I'm going to do an overlay, and let's see how that works. So, and I'm also going to probably choose a square brush. Okay. And I want to make the square brush bigger. Okay. So about that size will work. And I'm going to click once. And I'm going to hold my shift key, go to the other end, and click again. Alright. Not quite perfect, so I'm going to do it again. Let's see what happens. Alright, so for some reason this end is coming out extremely dark, so no problem. You know what we do to fix that? We're just going to clone the rest of it in there. So now we're just going to take this and, oops, we're just going to clone the rest of it in there. And there you go. So now you have your blue right there. A little brighter blue, which is fine because we want it to stand out compared to the top blue in this case. So just click on your tool here and click anywhere in there and it'll make it go away. Now I see a boo-boo, which I don't like, and that's right there, so I'm going to fix that real quick by taking my brush and actually my clone tool, sorry. No, I'm just going to fix it. There we go. Okay, so that gives you, if you wanted to use this look, more of a kind of a grungy look, and then, and like I said, you can switch between the two if you wanted to, so you would turn off this one and use this one, or you could turn off the bottom one and use this one. Now we're going to turn on the All Lives Matter and the heart, and they go perfectly right in there. The last thing I would do is, for either flag you use, I would give the state an outline. So again, come down to your FX tools, go to stroke, and you can give it a black, red, blue, whatever you want. I think I'm going to leave it black, and I'm going to change my stroke to 15 and see how that looks. Alright, maybe a 10. I don't want it too thick. That looks good right there. You can move your heart around if you wanted to. And the reason why I put the heart up here is because for any of you that know anything about Texas, or maybe just from school, we are North Texas. So, and this is about where we are at. All right. So that pretty much concludes on how to make this design that I created and shared. Anybody who doesn't have Photoshop that wants these files, I will put them in the file section so you can use them. I don't believe in profiting off of tragedies like this, so I'll just give them away. And everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me for my very first live stream from my PC to do a video tutorial.